I looked after a cancer patient. She was dying from her breast cancer. I think she'd given up. We discovered that she'd actually graduated from university just before coming in and that her graduation ceremony was coming up. The entire team that were looking after her made it our mission over the next 2 weeks to get her out of bed, get her walking, get her spirits up and take her to her graduation ceremony. There was a little lift up onto the stage, and as her name was read out, she took the oxygen mask off and walked the 20 metres across the stage, picked up her certificate and came back to the wheelchair. The crowd went ballistic. I've never seen anything like it, except in a Hollywood film. It was incredible. She was very breathless, but she'd done it. I took her back to the hospital, and she died 2 weeks later. I'm Tom. I am a junior doctor.
The term junior doctor is misleading. Junior doctors are fully qualified professionals working in the NHS for up to 10 to 15 years on their way to becoming consultants and GPs. There are 53,000 junior doctors working in the NHS. The government threatens to impose a new contract on junior doctors that will damage the future of the NHS and harm the quality of care patients receive. Currently, hospitals are prevented from forcing staff to work excessive hours by mandatory safeguards. By removing these, the proposed contract will stretch staff and services to unsafe levels. Changes to contract conditions will impact hardest on doctors who work the most nights and weekends, the ones who already provide a world-class 7-day National Health Service.
I've been a junior doctor for 10 years. I'm currently working in cancer research. I've taken 5 years out of my NHS training to do this, whilst raising 2 kids, a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old.
Vital research into conditions like cancer and dementia will suffer as doctors are financially penalised for undertaking scientific training. People are already demoralised. People are already working at the limits of what they can do in a lot of areas of the NHS, particularly places like A&E and general practice. If we're asking them to work more with less resources and less support, it's going to fall apart.
When children are unwell, it's unpredictable. They can come in unwell at any time. I know that when I work out of hours, it's hard. It's really hard. If these changes to our contract go through, my worry is that the safeguards won't be in place to prevent us from working too many of these hours.
You have tired doctors and overworked doctors and demoralised doctors. That leads to an increased chance of mistakes being made. And we're human and we'll make mistakes, and you want to minimise the environment in which we're able to make mistakes.
It'll become a danger because doctors will be overtired. Trying to squeeze more out of us is not going to work.
Shockingly, the terms of the contract are not up for negotiation. Doctors were issued with an ultimatum: accept the terms or we will impose them on you anyway. The government aren't listening to the concerns of the country's leading medical authorities. They aren't listening to the Welsh and Scottish governments that have refused to implement the contract. They aren't even listening to their own MPs who oppose it.
They don't understand that the NHS will not work unless there are junior doctors doing the work.
I think there's a lot of people that are highly dedicated, have a very strong sense of vocation, that they may say these changes are the tipping point to say, I can't do this anymore. And I think to have got to that stage is a very sorry state of affairs.
The new contract for me potentially is the end of my career. I have a 4-year-old daughter. She said, "Mummy, I've made up my mind. I really want to be a doctor now." And my voice is breaking now because the NHS at the moment is not a happy place, and I would worry about her future.
I qualified in July of 1948, and that was the very month the health service came in. It's my life. I'm very proud of it. It's a wonderful system, and I'm very disturbed at what I'm seeing now.
If it wasn't for the junior doctors of our NHS, I wouldn't be here today. I would have been dead. I think if the government has its way, it will destroy the NHS as we know it.
All we can do is try and fight and try and raise people's awareness that this contract isn't fair, that it certainly isn't safe for the patients that we look after.
The new contracts make us feel like the Department of Health don't care about the work that we do. But the work that we do is caring for patients. It's the front line. And taking away the morale and the goodwill that exists at that front line is going to hurt patients on a daily basis.
The Doctors' Union, the BMA, are simply asking for a chance to negotiate this contract fairly, without preconditions. A chance they are not being given. So doctors are uniting to stop a dangerous contract that will be damaging for patients, damaging for doctors, and damaging for the NHS.
I've just finished a night shift working with an amazing team treating and retrieving critically ill children. I'm sick and tired of being made to feel that what I do isn't worth anything. I'm sick and tired of the spin being peddled by this government to systematically destroy the NHS that we love. I've not been misled by the BMA, and I will stand with my colleagues.
We're all human and we all want the same thing. If we have an accident or our health lets us down, we want to know that we're going to be seen by staff that are at the top of their game who are just going to make us feel better. And these contracts jeopardise that. And that's why we're fighting for this. But we need your help, we need the public support, and we need you behind us. Please support this campaign to save the NHS.
We are your junior doctors. This is your NHS. This is everybody's fight.
Please, click here to sign the petition. You can also upload your photos and videos of support using hashtag NHSSelfie and hashtag JuniorContract. For more information, visit the website. Thank you.